Hey everyone, it's me, Bill, your personal librarian, and this is In the Library. On today's episode, I'm going to delve into my own writing past, and we're going to take a look at um, the only piece of writing I've kept from high school. Um, it was a last semester project in senior year, and we're going to take a look at it. So come on in. Take a seat and let's turn some pages. Okay, so this project, as I said, it was a last semester project in high school, senior year. Um, Being spring semester, we just come back from the holidays. And one thing you'll notice is all my character names have a holiday theme to it. Um, This is a detective story, and it's my attempt at making a Mickey Spillane, Mike Hammer style private detective, uh, sort of in the pulp fiction genre, like Mickey Spillane wrote with his Mike Hammer character. Um, it was also based on, at that time, there was a more modern Mike Hammer TV show that I really enjoyed. So that was sort of the inspiration behind the kind of story that I decided to write. Um, so it is called Joe Garland Investigates the Case of the Missing Santa. And I have a little booklet here. Probably can't see that very well on the screen, but that's what it says. The subtitle is Or Who's Got the Ho Ho Ho, which I get the joke, okay? But it has nothing to do with that. Uh, and Santa is actually the victim in this, but everything actually works out all right. So let's get into it. I was sitting in my office on a lonely Thanksgiving day, drinking old scotch and smoking new cigarettes. My name's Joe Garland, private eye. I'm 6'6", just over 200 pounds, and when I'm on a case, nobody better get in my way because I'm trigger happy. My office in New York City is dusty and dirty, with old used coffee cups thrown all over the desk. You might not be impressed with my office, but to me, it's home. Anyway, I was sitting in my office when this guy came running in, out of breath and practically in tears. Are you Joe Garland? He sniffed. Yeah, I am. Good, because I want to hire you. Calm down, buddy, I said, putting out my cigarette. What's your name? My name is John Macy. By this time, he was crying his eyes out. I'm president of Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade, and Santa is missing. Float and all, the whole thing is gone. That parade is supposed to start in a few hours, I said, looking at the clock on the wall. What took you so long to come to me? Does that matter now? Please, Mr. Garland, will you take the case? He asked hysterically. All right, I'll take the case. I asked John what he knew, and we went down to the spot where Santa and his float were supposed to be. By now, John had calmed down. He had started telling me the history of the parade and changes that had taken place since he became president. While we were talking and walking down Fifth Avenue, and I was questioning different people, we bumped into Jimmy the Grinch, a bookie, drug runner, an old adversary of mine. I see that you're out again, Jimmy, I remarked. Oh, man, give me a break. I've gone straight, turned over a new leaf, he said. Well, Santa's missing, and I think you took him, I said, looking him square in the face. I didn't take him, I tell you. I didn't, Jimmy protested. But I did see Rudolph's sleigh hanging around the Santa float earlier. Rudolph's sleigh, a washed up, bitter illusionist who hasn't been seen in public for years. Now, suddenly, he's back. How interesting. I sent John back to his office and told him I'd get back to him in a while. Then I went to my office and had my secretary, Brandy Noel, a tall, gorgeous blonde woman in her 20s, check out Jimmy the Grinch because I still had my suspicions. But as it turned out, Jimmy had turned over a new leaf, like he said. I guess I was wrong just this once. Brandy, I have one other person I want you to check out, I said, lighting up yet another cigarette. A guy named Rudolph Sleigh. I'll get right on it, Joe, she said in that sweet voice of hers. Meanwhile, I went around Fifth Avenue again and investigated some more. Later, I called my office. Brandy, Joe, did you finish checking out Sleigh? Yes, I did. It seems that his family wanted to send him to an old illusionist's home and he didn't want to go. Then he said that he had something special up his sleeve for today. Where is he living now? I said. He lives in Queens near Bushwick Park. I think you'd better get over there quick. Now, let me just add here, I have no idea if there's a Bushwick Park in Queens or anywhere in New York City. I didn't do any research. I just kind of dived into it and just based things on watching the parade on TV. So there's that. Thanks, Brandy. Why don't you take the rest of the day off? Thanks, Joe. I'll see you tomorrow, she said, hanging up the phone. Also, I didn't think about the timing on this. Of course, we're at a point where the next day is Thanksgiving Day. I probably would have given Brandy the day off, but there you go. I took the subway to Queens and then a cab to Bushwick Park. It didn't take long to find the apartment building where Rudolph Sleigh lived. It was a rundown old building and reminded me of my office. I walked up and knocked on the door. An old gray-haired man answered. Are you Rudolph Sleigh? I asked. Yes, I am. My name's Joe Garland, private investigator. I said, taking a small business card out of my pocket. Can I talk to you for a minute? Sure. Come on in. He spoke reluctantly and then turned to let me in. I'll be direct and straight to the point, I said, sitting down on a chair in the living room. Santa and his float are missing from the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade, and I know that you were in the area around the time of the disappearance. Well, I was in the area earlier this morning, but I interrupted him. I also know that you were planning something for today and that your family wanted to put you in an old illusionist's home. He had started to shake at this point, and he stood up and started yelling. Yes, I took Santa. I did it because nobody recognizes me anymore, and I just wanted to hear the cheers of the crowd one more time. I was going to put him back. But how did you do it? I asked, standing up. I did it by kidnapping Santa and hiding him in my old apartment down the street. Then I took apart the float and hid the pieces all around the city. I did it all last night, he said with an evil laugh. I went to the window and yelled out to a bystander to call the cops. Several hours later, Rudolph Sleigh was being arraigned on kidnapping and theft charges while Santa and his float rejoined the parade route. I went to Clancy's Bar and Grill near Central Park, where it occurred to me that illusionists like Slay never die. They just slowly disappear. The end. As you can see by the timing of everything in the story, I clearly played with time here, so maybe this is some sort of science fiction detective story. I don't know. I didn't really think about that at the time. I'm just thinking about it right now. I also have with it, as you can see, I got an A and a super. My teacher said that the opening is good and very clever. Story exposition is very good. The plot starts well and continues to be good, very clever, done in the tradition of detective stories, super start and end. So I did a very good job, according to my teacher, on my first real piece of fictional writing. I don't write a lot of fiction. I still don't, even to this day. But this brings up something that I've been thinking about. I've been thinking about bringing back Joe Garland and bringing him to Boston, relocating him to Boston. It won't be a full novel, but it will be longer than this, probably a novella. A novella length, 1,500 words or 2,000 words, something like that. And I want to ask you, what do you think Joe Garland's next case should be? And this is not going to be the next big thing I write. I'm going to Ireland later in the fall of this year, 2021. I'm going to write a book about that trip. But this story will probably be the big piece of writing next year after I finish writing the book about the Ireland trip. But I'd like to start getting some ideas right now. So what are your ideas for Joe Garland's next case? And if I choose your idea, I'll give you a character in the story, make you a character. So let me know down in comments or the community page on the channel your ideas for Joe's next story. And what are also, while you're at it, if you have any ideas or suggestions for the channel itself, I'm always happy to take suggestions. I want to make this a channel that you're interested in coming back to and give you content that you'd be interested in seeing. So let me know about that. And we can respectfully discuss in the comments. In the meantime, next week, we're going to take a little bit of a look at something I found in a footnote in a book I recently read. We're going to take a look at Ben Franklin's secret alphabet. He had some ideas that he laid out on improving our alphabet, and we're going to take a little bit of a look at that. In the meantime, please like, subscribe, ring the notification bell, and give us a thumbs up and thumbs down. And if you do give a thumbs down, please leave a little note as to why. I'm still relatively new at this. I want to improve. I will always take constructive, respectful criticism, and that'll be very helpful to me. So if you do give a thumbs down, give me a little note as to why. In the meantime, thank you for watching. We'll see you next time, and keep on reading.